Hey there, my name is Becca Perry, and I'm going to be taking over for day 3 of the Direct Sellers Selfie and Product Challenge. That's a mouthful. All right, day 3, we're talking about filters. Filters are great to add interest, to show off your personality, and really just to break up the monotony of regular photos. So let's get started. Before we get into the actual apps that we can use for filtering, I wanted to show you some ways that you can filter and add interest to some photos that you take. So here is an app that I used that blurs the photo and puts it in the background of the photo itself, and then you can actually add filters onto the photo, so you can make it black and white, darker, lighter. So that's what that looks like. I think that's kind of an interesting way to do it, depending on what the picture is, of course. Here's one. My product is jewelry, and so I just took a picture, a different angle. So instead of kind of a straight on, I did above and looking down, but I also added a filter to it, so it looks a little bit like an antiqued picture. This is that same picture that I showed you previously, and all I did to this one was just add a simple filter to really brighten up the picture itself. This is kind of behind the scenes in my own jewelry business, and I don't know that I use this filter too much, but I just wanted to show you there's lots of different options out there to show off. Now, one thing with my product, which is jewelry, I want people to see the color and the texture, and in this picture, you can't see that. But I might use it as a way to draw them in and maybe ask them to guess what color it is or something like that. But you get the picture. You can use all different types of filters for different ways to engage your audience and ask them questions. And so your posts are not salesy. It's fun. Okay, so here's a fun one. I got this from Snapchat. It's the only reason I have Snapchat, actually. And it's a fun little filter with that Hawaiian flower. And I might use this one because our face is our brand. Y'all know that. But what you can do with one like this is maybe ask them a question. So if your product is jewelry, you can say, how do you pack your jewelry for vacation? Or do you need help learning how to pack your dainty necklaces so they don't get tangled? The first one I showed you was where the background was blurred, and that's called InShot. And this app, you can use video, photos, or you can make a collage. Okay, let's just say I'm going to use this picture. This is not a picture that I would want to use in this app. You see how awkward that is? It's like my feet are showing at the bottom. My head is blurred at the top, and I think that's awkward. So the kind that you want to use for this are, like I showed you earlier, that picture of just my jewelry. That makes for a perfect picture in this case. And then when I tap on filter down at the bottom, you're going to get options to be able to change the actual filter over the whole picture. And then once you're done, you hit the check mark. And with most of these apps I'm going to show you, at the top, there's going to be a box with an arrow pointing up, and that's how you're going to save that picture. It'll save it to your photos, or you can post somewhere else immediately. This one's kind of a neat app, but it ends up being really a little video. Hit gallery, and you can pull in a photo. Let's see. Let's pull in this photo again. Okay, then after you get the photo that you want, just hit the check mark. And then here's where you're going to pull in the different filters. So you might want to do this one because it's kind of fun. And then you just have this little video, which is actually a photo with just the hearts going across it. Very simple. If you want to delete it, you can see right up there under the save button where it says delete FX. Just tap that. There's different ones on here that you can use. There's fireworks. That's kind of fun. If you want to add eyes, this is kind of fun. There we go. Isn't that funny? You really want to amp it up just a little bit, then you can do some fun things like that. So you just hit save and it will save it. You just pull in the picture that you want, and then down at the bottom where it says filters, you click on filters, and you're able to just tap across and add the filter you want, and you can save it right to your photos. Once you're on the Snapchat screen, that's hard to say, you press and hold the screen to populate the filters. And there's just some really fun filters on here. Let me turn that around so it's my face. See these crazy filters? And what you do is, once you have the filter that you like, for pictures, you're just going to do your angle, make sure you're at a good angle. That circle right there in the middle, I'm going to just tap it, and it's going to take a picture. Okay, once you take the picture, then down at the bottom it says save. You just hit save. It's going to save it to your phone. Tap across there to find the filters that you like. Y'all, there's some fun filters. And then, of course, on Instagram, if you're on Instagram, you already know how to use the filters on there. You press the plus sign, you add your picture, and then hit next, and down at the bottom, you get the different filters that you can use. So filters are, can be all the way from adding something to your face to actually changing the color of the picture. So filters are a really, really great way to add interest and to create some fun on your social media. All right, so I hope that helps you a little bit with the filters, and you're welcome to let us know which app you use to create that filter. Now, one piece of advice when it comes to filtering. If you're a more serious person, then using one of those silly ones from Snapchat, that's not really you. You need to be true to yourself. So make sure that the filter that you're using is true to you, if that makes sense. You definitely don't want to try to be someone that you're not. Your followers know who you are, and they're trying to get to know who you are. So if you're posting a silly picture of yourself and you're not really that silly and goofy of a person, they're going to see right through that, and it's going to really come across as unauthentic. And then on the other side of that, if you are silly and goofy, kind of like me, don't go overboard with those filters. Just use them occasionally just to change it up a little bit. So I hope this has been fun. I can't wait to see what you post today.